friends. It's Lucy here. How did you guys do yesterday? Oh, just never mind. I've already seen all your guys' comments and I'm so excited for you guys. I know it was a challenge, but like I said, sometimes you gotta get the hardest things out of the way first, and then the rest is a breeze, right? Okay, so you're tuning in, so that means I haven't lost you yet. So here we are. We're on day 2. Are you ready for it? I thought that the best challenge for our mindful challenge would to tap into what happens during mealtime. And this is something that I work on my one-on-one clients. Mindful eating. And you're like, what in the hell are you talking about? I'm gonna tell you. Let me just say first this much, that I'm not talking about being mindful of what you're eating, but more so referring to the act of mindful of how you eat. I know, don't get lost. Reel it back in. Stay with me here. So let me ask you something. Have you ever been so excited to eat a meal? I mean, I'm talking like you worked so hard to prepare it. Your house is smelling amazing. And then when dinner time comes, you're sitting down to enjoy it, and it's gone before you even had time to appreciate it. I talked about this yesterday, just a little bit. I know that's happened to me in the past. That is why mindful eating to me has been a game changer. I am serious, not only in my weight loss and health journey and that of my clients, but just overall in general. Because first of all, you put all this time and effort and energy into preparing this meal. Whether you prepare it or whether you go out, somebody is making that meal. And then for you just to inhale it, instead of stopping and appreciating all the effort that went into it and what it is doing for your body. Practicing mindful eating involves consciously slowing down during your meals. Now, unless somebody is chasing you or standing over you, timing you, there is literally no reason to be rushing. Even at breakfast time, get up earlier if that's what you have to do, because each meal is important and each meal serves a purpose for nourishment and energy and nutrition, for your body. When you're eating and when you're slowing down, it requires the use of all your senses and your awareness. It will completely transform your approach to eating. I 100% guarantee that. Because all of my clients have said that they never stopped and realized how fast they were eating. And I'd ask them, I'd say, what are you doing? Who is timing you? Why are you eating so fast? Even at dinner time, what is the rush? How long did it take you to prepare that meal? Sometimes 30, 40 minutes. How long did it take you to eat it? I don't know, 5 or 10. Why? If it took you that long to make it, it should take you that long to eat it. Savor all of those flavors. Appreciate what happens when you blend all those flavors together and how it changes and alters the flavor of the meat or the vegetables or the carb or putting it all together. It's like making your own tomato sauce, your own pasta sauce, or gravy as they call it. I mean, I make my own sauce and I never appreciated a good pasta sauce until I made it myself. And like the labor intensive work. And then as I'd taste it and adjust the seasoning or the salt or a little bit of sugar, I put the Parmesan rind in there and just like watch as the flavors and the colors and everything changed. I didn't want anybody to eat it. It looked so good and it tasted so amazing. And it took all day that when I did finally eat the pasta, I didn't want it to be over. That's mindful eating. And a miracle because I didn't screw it up. So my challenge for you is I want you to review some tips I'm about to tell you and pick at least one. Preferably you will want to participate. You will want to do this in all of your meals, but one is a good starting point. But pick one meal to practice mindful eating. I suggest it's one where you know you're not going to be rushed. So if mornings are really hectic for you and you don't have the ability to get up that much earlier, or you are not a big breakfast person, then don't choose breakfast. But this is where you're going to be practicing this mindful eating tips. And then after your meal, you're going to spend some time reflecting on the experience, using some of these thought prompts that I'm going to tell you. Okay, so here's tip number one. And don't get weirded out, okay? But tip number one is I want you to appreciate the food. Now, I'm not saying, like, here's a bowl and just be like, I appreciate you oh so much. I'm not saying do that. I did have some wonderful peaches in here, and I appreciated them so much because they were in season, they were ripe, they were juicy, and I savored every single flavor. Oh my gosh. But before you dig into that food, I want you to take a moment to appreciate the person, whether it was yourself or someone else who took the time to make the meal. Even if that meant it was somebody throwing something in the microwave. Yes, because that's somebody preparing the meal. Look at the food as nourishment for your body. Fuel that's going to get you through the rest of the day or night, and be grateful at the simple fact that you have food on your plate. That is important, okay? And tip number two, again, don't laugh, use all of your senses. As you serve and eat your meal, engage all of your senses in the experience. Notice the sounds of the utensils and the silverware, and acknowledge the colors of the plate and the smells and the textures of the food that's as it sits on your plate, not just how it tastes. I'm not saying take a picture of your food and post it on social media. I'm just saying take the time to notice the subtle details. Look at it this way. Have you ever looked through like a food magazine or gone to a food blogger, and that picture is so crisp of whatever the meal may be? I mean, you could go to my website, lucymitchell.com, and I usually post, I try to update every 2 weeks or at least once a month, seasonal recipes. And my husband helps me to take amazing up close pictures of this food. So you see all the colors, you see the sauce, you see the illuminating colors of like the juices or the fluids or whatnot. So you really can capture and get an idea of what this meal is going to taste like based on how it looks, right? This is going to be that same thing. So when you notice, taking the time to notice the subtle details of what you're eating, it totally is going to change the approach of how you eat. And I'm telling you, this works. And you may notice over time that your preferences are going to change. Okay? And then tip number 3 is take one bite at a time. One small bite. Okay? Nobody's chasing you down. So you take one small bite. That's what I mean. One small bite at a time. Every time you take a bite of your food, set down your fork or utensils. I know, it's weird. Chew your food completely. Acknowledge the small details of what you're eating, and then move on to the next bite. Not only is this going to help slow down your mealtime like immensely, but taking smaller bites and chewing completely is going to help aid in digestion of your food easily. I'm serious. It is a game changer. Okay. And then in the email that I'll be sending out, it's going to detail all of these steps even further. And then there's going to be a post-meal reflection. And there's a couple questions that I want you to answer. So I think there's 4 or 5 questions. So again, like I said, if this is something that you're like, already my mind is blown, I can't wait for day 3, please add your friends, have them click the link, send them the link. They can totally join in on this challenge. Let me know if this was a game changer for you, if we're completely different, and if you think I'm off my rocker. And get ready for day 3. I can't wait to hear your guys' results so far. So we've done a digital detox. Now we're mindfully eating. I wonder what day 3 is going to be all about. I'll see you guys tomorrow.